All right, guys. Let's see. We had Noah and Captain America this week.
Did
Uh,
we? We had
yeah.
Captain America. I forgot to see it.
Aw, just like how you forgot to see Noah. Oh wait, no, you were
Yeah.
just too poor to go see Noah.
I had already purchased my ticket for Captain America like a month before, but I was too broke to see Noah this week.
From now on, I need you to purchase all of your tickets a month in advance.
I wish I could.
Just all at once. But this week we actually have a special guest with us this time.
I don't know if I'd use the word special.
But we have Glock from the chat room, Mr. Brennan here. Why don't you say hello there, sir?
Hello.
Oh, good. I thought you'd mute yourself again. Had forgot to unmute yourself. So, I think we're going to start off with Noah, since only two of us have seen it, and that is why Mr. Special Guest is here. So, that's it. You're a Bible thumper, right?
I guess you could call me that. Yes.
Sure. Okay. You're a believer. Let's start off. What are your thoughts with this? Actually, let's do the. If you know the story of Noah, you know the damn movie. Supposedly, it's basically guy builds ark, or God tells guy build ark. Guy builds ark. People, animals go on boat. Flood happens, kill people. Boat lands. Happy days.
God hit the reset button.
Yeah, that's basically the whole premise of this movie. And sorry, spoil alerts if you didn't know this. But,
Spoilers is a flood.
yeah, spoilers, everything dies. It's like Pompeii. So, how do you think this movie marked up to what you were taught in school and have read in the good book?
I think the best way to describe it is that for the first 5 minutes of the film, my mouth is just hanging open.
In awe of how amazing your movie is?
No,
Of how
just
much sweet fucking Hermione nudeness there is in the film.
No, because she doesn't show up for the first half hour, and she's like a 7-year-old.
yeah. No, it was hanging open because I was just mouthing, "What the hell is going on? I don't understand."
Don't you have to say Hail Mary for that?
No, it'd be three Our Fathers.
Okay. I didn't know what it was for saying hell. Hell, damn. Poopy pants. But,
You've got a tab.
yeah. I have an open tab with God. I'll collect them all on my deathbed. So, so you so the first 5 minutes are unbelievable, right?
They just don't really conform with anything that I don't think anyone who knows cursory knowledge of the Bible would know.
Okay. Do you think it gets better after those first 5 minutes? Remember, we can't go into spoiler territory yet.
Depends on your definition of better. If you
You
if you
enjoyed
mean
it more. It's your level of enjoyment.
then yes, I would say it does get better.
Okay. I'm going to wholeheartedly disagree. I don't think there's anything honestly appealing to this movie at all, to be honest. I mean, like, let's just go into let's say their acting. Acting was abysmal in this movie. Emma Watson couldn't save this. Neither could. Well, Russell Crowe's just batshit insane anyway. If you've seen the movie, the Robin Hood version that he was in, you're getting the exact same performance out of him that you got in that movie, and that he was fucking abysmal in that movie. We have Anthony Hopkins in this movie. I think he's only in it for a paycheck. At least he performed like it, because I think they only gave him like 12 lines.
Oh, so you mean it's like 4 then?
Huh?
Yeah. Essentially like his role in Thor as Odin.
Yeah.
My wife is dead!
Well, except he spends
No.
his whole movie looking for berries.
Yeah.
Because he's...
My name carries a lot of weight in Hollywood. I'll sign on here. You can put my name on the poster. I'll do fuck all.
Yeah, that's basically what he did. This movie has horrible cuts. I literally believe... I don't know if you believe this, Brennan, but I believe the editor has ADD.
Oh yeah,
Because he's
I
just
definitely-
jumping everywhere. Flashbacks, flash forwards, just jumping in time.
Well,
It's
even just in scene, like
Yeah.
there's a scene where two doves fly, and the doves are obviously CGI, and they're steady in like at the very forefront of the scene,
Mhm.
but then the background keeps cutting rapidly, like a slideshow,
yeah,
to different.
to different
Yeah,
areas. Like it's showing that they're flying miles upon miles upon miles. A lot of these scenes in this movie, like where they do that, are seizure-inducing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scenes where they just flash bright shit at your face.
Hmm.
And I was waiting for one of the because I was in my theater was full, not full, but it had like I'd say like 35 people, and I don't think anybody other than ourselves was under the age of 65. And I was waiting for one of them just to start spazzing out and like vomiting up something and fall on the floor and have a seizure because of this scene, or many of the scenes in this movie. Like, remember the scene where like the water's trickling across and shit like that, like they're showing
Yeah.
the river forming.
Hmm.
They're doing this. They did
Yeah,
the same
it's-
thing there.
Hmm.
It's,
Yeah, it's just
go ahead.
yeah. I don't know what their thought process was. 'Cause, yeah, normally when you see this, it's just a slow transition,
Yeah.
like a slow fade from one
It's
to
a
the other.
it's a pan, like they're panning from like you see like a
Mhm.
desert all the way to a jungle or something like that.
Yeah, in this movie, it's just a quick, hard cut, like 0.1 second each. Just
Yep.
bam, 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 bam.
And yeah, it's just and everything. There's no other transition in this movie other than fades to black.
After which 15 years have passed of all of a sudden, and
Yep.
now Hermione Granger is in the film.
Yeah, and she is hot as fuck. I don't care if she's got goofy ratted hair. Still hit it. Don't care. Though she does make out with her brother. Well, step brother.
Yeah,
Are they actually blood
adopted
related
brother.
at all?
No, they're
They're
not.
blood
They're not,
related, then
they're not
that's
actually
fine.
blood related, but she is raised by the family by the age of what, 7?
Yeah, about.
Look, this is the Bible, all right? That's actually pretty tame by the standards of what some people have to do in this.
They have this weird plot about the king. What's it? What's the king's name? Not his name, but his family name.
Kane.
Cain. The Cain family king bastard.
Is it the same Cain from Cain and Abel?
Yep. No, no, it's the
It's-
same. It's not the same Cain. It's from the
I
same.
didn't say name, though. The same family name.
Yeah, bloodline. Yeah,
Okay.
Hmm.
yeah, it's the same bloodline. Um,
Yeah, apparently after Cain was banished and marked by God, he somehow found a wife and was able to create a giant civilization, like, very technically advanced, conquers the world.
they have welding masks.
Yes, except yeah, we never actually see this giant civilization. We just see like 100 people
So
out. In the
it's
forest.
what you could just say. It's a crossover on a biblical scale.
Fuck you, Gav.
I wasn't even gonna acknowledge that, but Gav, you're an idiot. It's I don't know what to fucking say about this movie. It's everywhere. You think like the whole movie is basically just him building the boat and then them getting to safety. No, that's the first hour.
Mhm.
Is
like when-
is them building the boat and the flood.
Yeah, when the flood actually happens, I thought the end of that was like the climax because it was the way it was playing out seemed like okay, this is the end of the film. The flood's gonna happen, and bam, because that's actually how it almost happens in the Bible. The flood happens, and then you get the resolution.
The dove and the land.
Yeah,
And that's
and
it.
then the rainbow.
But if you actually notice, this isn't a spoiler because I'm not actually going to get into the one scene. But there is no climax to this movie, other than they accept Noah back into the family, and you'll find out why later. That's the climax of this movie.
Yeah, it's just all over the place. Like I said, my mouth was just hanging open for the first 5 minutes because I did not understand what was going on.
There are rock golems in this movie that are apparently fallen angels.
Who apparently helped Cain build his civilization, yet
Mhm.
now they hate humans,
Yep.
and for how they destroyed the Earth again, even though they helped do it in the first place, and now they're good guys, and we should feel bad when they die.
The thing is that I couldn't tell if they looked stop motion.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't know
really-
if they were puppets or if they were actually CGI. Because if they were puppets and they actually did stop motion for this movie, I'm going to applaud them for that. But if they were just CGI and they just did a really good job of making them look like they were stop motion, fuck these guys.
They could have just been going for the Harryhausen sort of style just for.
But it was
You know.
like they moved great if for what they needed to, and
So, yeah, and
they looked like they were fake, like not fake, but not they looked like they weren't CGI.
yeah,
This go on.
they looked really real. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
and they had a very unique design to them. You just see them, it's like that. It's yeah. When you think rock golem, it kind of fits that image, but it's
Yeah.
just different enough that it's really interesting.
I literally think those were the best parts of that movie. Were not them as a character, but their scenes. Like
They're definitely one of the most surprising
Yeah.
moments of this movie.
This is sounding like a case of bad trailer already. You know, I mean, you're talking about fucking what? I mean, this is like we said in pre-show. This is developed into the fucking Rock Lords, which is. This isn't in the trailer. I don't remember this from the book. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we'll get
basically.
into when we get into spoilers. I'll get into why the trailer is misleading as fuck. Well, I can get in a little bit about it. They mainly show in the trailers the flood and the war, or the fight that happens. Which is everything you see in the trailer happens in the first half hour of this movie. You don't see anything in the trailers about what happens in the second hour, where it's them on the boat and they're going through some problems that they're having with Russell Crowe going pretty much he has cabin fever. I think he does because he goes mad inside that place. But yeah, you don't see any of that crap in the trailers. There's no soundtrack to this movie to speak of. It's always the same track over and over again. I don't know if you noticed that, Brennan.
Yeah, I did.
It's the same swelling music for everything. Like if it's a bad thing, they play the music. If it's a good thing, they play the same music. It's abysmal.
Yeah, it's just kind of that bland grand choir. You've heard this 1,000 times in a fantasy movie.
But you also get a little bit of that wham shit in it.
Which is very out of place for a supposedly ancient time story.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like I don't think. Oh, there's also ancient. What is it? It's not Stone Age. What age would this be in?
This would be Stone Age.
Would it be Stone Age?
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently there are Stone Age pregnancy tests. We'll get into that later.
Well, yeah, and apparently there are mutant armadillo dogs.
Yep. See, do you know how like Noah calms the animal before it dies? I thought that was going to play a more of a role because they put a lot of time into that scene.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it kind of does, but not in the way you're expecting.
Well, he uses a plant to put them to sleep. He doesn't do it himself.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't use a plant to put the other animal to sleep.
Yeah, and it kind of sets up this idea of like humans bad and Noah doesn't like to kill, which I'll address later.
Yeah, he murders a lot of people.
Do they do that thing where like I've seen it before in apocalyptic movies? It's like, okay, other animals and shit existed. The reason you don't know about them is because we didn't save them.
No,
No.
there is an explanation
no
to why
Pokemon.
there is an explanation to why other animals didn't make the transition into this world. And it's
Okay.
batshit fucking insane.
Why didn't Noah save the dinosaurs?
They might have been there, but somebody might have done something to them. We'll get into it in spoilers.
That
Because
sounds so insidious. Like some dude was just like, I'm not gonna let the unicorns come into my world. And he stabs them all with like fucking chloroform. Just grabs the fucking unicorns, chloroforms them, drags them off into a cave.
you might
You're not far off.
You're not far off, actually.
That's disturbing.
Oh, it is a very disturbing scene.
But yeah, this
Chris's bullshit fever fantasies are now developing into actual Hollywood plots.
it's
Fair enough.
really stupid. But since okay, all I've talked about is how bad this movie is. Brennan, why don't you get into some of the parts that you actually think redeem this movie? Because I don't think there's anything that's redeeming about this movie. Remember, just don't try to go into spoiler territories of like the bigger plot things, like the what happens on the boat and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mainly, the reason why I don't think it was a complete failure was, well, one, I wanted to see where the movie was going. I was definitely intrigued. So that brought it up from just abysmal failure. But then also, I did think that there was some good moments in the movie and scenes of generally good acting. Like, there's quite a few of the scenes between Emma Watson and Russell Crowe I thought were very either heartwarming or chilling.
I just couldn't get like I know which ones you're talking about. They were on the boat, right?
Yeah, on the boat and before when they're discussing some other stuff.
Okay. I thought like if any of the ones where Emma's crying, it's really hard because I think she's just trying really, really hard at trying to emote what she's feeling at that time, and it's really distracting, especially the wife crying too. Like, do you remember that one scene where they're having their exchange for the first time, and she's just like, and she's wheezing the whole thing, and it's annoying as fuck.
Yeah, and then there's one scene later on where the way she delivers a line, it's just, I get what you're going for, but the suggestion is horribly, horribly different.
Yeah, I just think like those scenes where they're really trying to over emote like terror and sadness, they're just really, really trying too hard.
Yeah, and I agree with you. That's why I think a lot of the scenes where they were a lot more subtle about it, I thought worked a lot better.
Anything else you found worth it about this movie?
Yeah, I think. Well, there was some bad CGI.
So there's some horrible CGI.
Yeah, there is some absolutely abysmal CGI. There are other times where I thought it worked very well, and the way that they incorporated it into the film, I really enjoyed.
All the animal CGI was terrible. The boat CGI in the water didn't look bad. Well, it didn't look really, really bad. It's really why it's a good idea to why when they put the boat in motion, they had it in darkness most of the time, as far as the outside shots. But yeah, there's some forgiving CGI in this movie, in some areas. But if it had to do with the animals, there's nothing there, because they just looked like blurred, like they didn't render them all the way.
Yeah, they either looked very blurred or just horribly cheesy.
Mm-hmm. Apparently they didn't. Oh, I'll get into that about the armadillo dog, but no, it's honestly I have to fail this movie out an F. It's not my kind of a movie. You might find it better because you understand the source material a little bit better than I do. I mean, I used to go to the church all the time and shit like that. I went to Sunday school. I stopped all that when I was 15. So a lot of the stuff that happened, or a lot of the characters, let's say, in this movie, I just do not remember, and I have no idea. Like, I'm not like invested in this story, and it's mainly just because I'm a non-believer, and I just find everything that's happening in this movie hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even if you're just like agnostic, you don't really know what to believe. This movie has nothing for you. Like, well, it might have some stuff in terms of comical value, but other than that, no, just don't go to this.
It barely has anything of comical value.
Well, comical as in, this is horribly insane. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay. What would you give this movie?
I would probably give it a C.
A C? Oh, passing still.
Yeah, like I said, the moments that were bad, but they didn't ruin the movie for me. I was still interested to see what was going to happen, and I felt that some of the
so you were satisfied. You were when you walked out of this movie. You were satisfied with what you saw.
I wouldn't say satisfied, but I'd just say not angry. I didn't feel like I wasted my time.
I did, definitely. On my end, yeah, this movie's not worth watching or renting or anything. You'd probably say if you know the source, or if you like, if you I don't know, what would you say for your?
I would say either if you're curious as to how it would play out, it's a rental at best. I would definitely say don't go and see it in the theaters.
Unless you can see it for $3.75.
Yeah, if it's like a matinee showing, that's much cheaper than usual.
Well, my matinee showings here are $3.50 at our cheap theater, and I'm pissed I didn't go to that one to go see this movie. I paid $6.75 for this.
I paid $5.
I don't pay to go see my movies, and I still feel ripped off by the sound of this.
You do pay to go see your movies. You just pay once a year, so you still pay.
Yeah, but I'm sure I've earned a few freebies by now.
But all right. So let's back off of that and let's go to Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I believe all of us have seen this movie.
I think the entire world has seen this movie already.
I hope so. It's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, you want to go a rundown with Captain America?
Sure. Captain America continues the story of Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, now adjusting to life after the events of the Avengers movie. He is trying to recover to his life, now dealing with being displaced in time. And there are goings-on in the government organization of S.H.I.E.L.D. that are placing a lot of doubts on where people's loyalties lie. And it's all leading up to a very large, grandiose event that is going to change the entire status quo of the Marvel Universe at large.
Dun dun dun!
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Good movie. It's really hard to place this movie on the Marvel list of what has come out.
I think the way I would say it is it's not as fun as some other movies like Avengers or the first Iron Man, but it's very, very good. It probably has a better story than those movies do.
Yeah.
But I also
just don't go into it expecting that same kind of like, this isn't really even like a kids movie per se.
No.
It's going to be over kids' heads.
This is basically it's as close to a spy thriller mixed in with your superhero movie as you're gonna get. Because this is what Captain America's always done. He's not the over the top superhero. He's the one that picks up the Tommy gun and just unloads on people. He's very much the underbelly of the Marvel universe. The whole the secret society, S.H.I.E.L.D., all these sort of things. Cap basically naturally falls into a much more S.H.I.E.L.D. agent role than you would in the comics. Obviously, he just joined the military and carried on for the American way. But in this one, he's enfolded into S.H.I.E.L.D. and he becomes another agent for them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I actually really like about what Marvel's doing with its universe is that all of its heroes and their movies have very unique feels to them. Iron Man's kind of, a very traditional action movie, especially with the sci-fi or the technological elements to it. Thor is this space fantasy movie, and Captain America is this, almost political thriller. And I like that Marvel's heroes all have very unique feelings to them because they fit the character. DC has this thing right now, they're kind of trying to make everyone Batman. At least that's what they've done with Superman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in this movie, you're getting a very different feel. Captain America has a very different story to him, and they make this movie just emphasizes what Captain America can bring to the Marvel Universe. If you saw Avengers and tried to base everything of Captain America off of that, you'd be like, he's okay. I don't get why he's there with all these other guys who are super strong. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, makes Captain America fucking badass.
Yeah, he fucking beats ass in this movie.
Anytime he punches somebody, they go flying. Anytime he hits a wall, it leaves a dent in it. You see him running, and he's just blazing past people. This movie makes him a superhero. Avengers, he's great. He's a hero, but he felt smaller in scale next to guys like Thor and Hulk and Iron Man. In this movie, though, anytime he punches somebody, it feels like a superhero fight going on.
Yeah, there's a great scene it's not really a spoiler, but you actually seen part of it on the trailer anyway, where he's basically chasing the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, when he's going through the walls and shit.
It's a case of he just puts his head behind his shield and runs. It's a very
bashed through walls.
it's a realistic sort of thing because in most like chase movies you'd see him tearing around corridors and this sort of. This movie looks into that sort of little hints and subtle, that a lot of films would leave out. Like, for example, he's tearing down this corridor. He can't stop for this corner that he's coming up to, so he just puts the shield off and used it to bounce off the wall. Ruins the fucking wall, but he just so he can keep going at full pace.
That scene reminds me of. Have you guys ever seen Casino Royale?
Yes.
Yes.
The first fight, or the foot chase, where Bond goes through the wall while the other guy goes above it.
Yep.
Through the window, where they're showing off the agility of the bad guy, but Bond's determination and brute strength going through the wall instead. And that they did a good thing with doing a scene ish sort of like that in this one, where they show him off, like they don't have to show him fighting anybody. They just show him busting through fucking plate glass, going through doorways, like ripping doors off the hinges, slamming through walls, bouncing off walls, and they're just showing off how fucking beastly this guy is. And my God, Chris Evans in this movie is massive.
He is jacked up to fuck, man. That guy looks huge. And not only that, Chris Evans is excellent as Steve Rogers.
No
he doesn't
shit.
have he doesn't have a lot of moments to really stretch it, but there's one moment, we'll get to it in spoilers, I guarantee it, but there's one moment in the movie where he really, like, just a dramatic moment happens, and he just absolutely nails it so well. This guy is fantastic. He doesn't get enough credit, because I think everybody, when they look at, like, these Marvel leads, they instantly go to Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and they should. I mean,
he is the embodiment of Iron Man.
Of Tony
and
Stark.
they've gotten, and with Chris Evans, they've gotten the closest person humanly possible to play Captain America.
He's he is the perfect Cap.
He's fantastic. I absolutely love him in this movie. The supporting cast, very good. Scarlett Johansson has a huge role in this movie to the point she's almost like a side protagonist.
I disagree with that. I think she has a large role, but I don't think it's as massive as you claim.
It's a lot.
We'll get into that in spoilers to why that's true.
I mean, like I say, without spoilers, I said this in the pre-show. I think this is kind of giving Marvel an opportunity to run off with a Black Widow solo film.
I can agree with that. With what we
rather than tagging her onto, because the ending spoilers.
It's not like she is in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
It's not like she was, this side character doesn't really get to do all that. She's present throughout the movie.
Prominent,
she's a very heavy supporting actor in this movie.
And she gets to do very cool things. That's the thing. And all these side characters all get to look fucking awesome in this.
Well, a little bit. It's like I am with Falcon.
Gets a little less because he doesn't have much screen time.
Yeah,
but he still has a very cool scene towards the end of the movie. That
I liked him as a character. I mean, I've seen a couple, because obviously it's been out for 2 weeks over here. So I've seen a couple of reviews, and the best one I've seen is that for a supporting character who we only meet for a couple of minutes at a time, when he comes back, when they're on their own and they go see him, everyone's like, "Oh shit, yeah, that dude. Hey, dude, we like you."
I mean, it's the fact that they managed to turn a character who, in the comic book world, is very silly, and make him something a lot more what I like about the Marvel Universe's reimagining of things.
I'm not saying I don't like Falcon. I just found him. I liked his character. I love what they did with him. I like his evolution through the movie. His slight evolution through the movie. Mm-hmm. I just don't think they I know it was packed full of crap and they couldn't pack any more into it. I just wanted to see something else from him.
I can agree with that. I would like to have seen more of him doing things in this movie, because there was definitely an opportunity there, and I think we'll probably get that with Captain America 3.
Or he might be in Avengers.
Possibly. He could be.
Well, yeah,
he'll still have another small role, but it'll still be more to him that we get to see it. And I do want to see more of Falcon. I hope they flush him out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does hint towards it'll probably be Cap 3. Possibly Avengers, maybe. In my head, I can, without going into spoilers, I can quite honestly say that when Ultron happens, I can quite honestly imagine that
I can see him in Avengers.
Falcon is left to continue the chase while Cap goes and deals with this bigger threat.
No, I could see him in Avengers. They really tie Falcon to Captain America in this movie.
Yeah,
and they're bros now. They're best buds.
Well, there's even that line, isn't it, that you see on the trailer? It's like, I just do what he does, just slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had some great lines, that, you know, like on your left, on your left.
I swear to God, if you say on your left one more time, on your left, God damn it!
He's got
Do
some.
you want to
like,
take another lap?
It's yeah.
Okay, I assume you just took it.
It's what makes him a lovable character. You want to see more of him, and that's why I was so disappointed at the end of this movie where I didn't get that. And
Part of it is
Yeah,
because there's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say I have to agree with Randy. It felt very contrived how they worked him back into the film in the action scenes. Like I liked his character, I liked where they're going. It just seemed a little too convenient for how they worked him in.
well, he's also very ineffective against the people that he's up against.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
He is literally. I mean, like if you go back to the first Avenger film and you see Cap has his his squad.
Yeah.
That Bucky was part of and all this sort of stuff. That's kind of how Cap has always done. He's the sole super soldier in the military, so he's got his support crew. They're not going to take on the big guys like he can, but he's Falcon is literally his air support. That's all it is. You know, he's not there to take on the superheroes. He's there to take on the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
And then
But, I mean-
part of the thing is that there's a huge cast around this, and I don't know if it's technically a spoiler to say so. Maria Hill, aka Colby Smothers' character, she shows up
yeah.
in the series.
No, I
She
think she's
has-
in the trailer. I think
Yeah,
she's in the
she
trailer.
has things to do. There's a few other agents we keep meeting throughout this movie that all kind of get their small moments during here, and this is it's just a very big movie, and it doesn't have as much time to dedicate to every single person. But I think everybody comes at least looking good. I don't think anybody else looks bad from this movie.
There's no one in this film that shouldn't be there.
And-
There is no
Except
part
Nick
in this
Fury.
film
He doesn't
where
need
you-
to be in any of his movies because fuck him.
there's no single part in this film where you're going, why the fuck are you in this movie?
And the thing,
Well, we do
as
have
well-
one question: is why the fuck aren't you in this movie? But we'll get to that in spoiler part.
But the big thing with this movie is the action in it is fucking great.
It's brutal.
It is heavy. It feels big. Every time a fist fight happens, you feel the weight of it.
It honestly
really-
reminds me of Batman fight scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
It
you
does, but
hear
it's-
you feel those thuds of Batman hitting somebody.
Well,
'Cause-
it's
But
again,
it's easier to see it because it's not shaking him. It's still a little
Yeah.
too close.
yeah,
in it.
that's you took
but
away
it's
my
a lot
fucking
more-
thing. You took away my fucking nitpick, Chris. Shut up.
this is the thing though. In this Marvel world of superheroes and lightning bolts and energy blasts and all this sort of stuff, Cap is a very he's a physical brawler.
He's a visceral fighter.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. There's a scene again. It's kind of in the trailers, in the sneak peeks. The guy that takes over the boat at the beginning.
Mhm.
He's actually an existing Marvel character known as Batroc.
Yeah, bad truck.
He's not Muay Thai, is he? He's a martial artist basically.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
No, it's apparently a self-developed martial artist.
Martial art. Okay, but he's
yeah,
known as a martial artist. That's why he can take on Cap. He hasn't got the strength, but
That
he's
was a
just
good-
that good.
That was a good
And
scene
there's a
too.
great brutal little fight between them. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was a very good fight.
One thing they also do really
okay.
well that I used to hate about Captain America. Before these films came out, I hated the shield.
Oh,
it seemed ridiculous. Chris Evans, whether it's just his acting or the way they do the CGI, that shield is a legit weapon now. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, he's a fucking master of geometry apparently now, but, but it's a
Yeah.
legit option. You take the
Well,
shield seriously now.
if you look at all the other movies like Avengers and Captain America 1, you never see the shield really coming into play.
no,
And it's something that the fans picked up on and brought up, verbally brought up. And they heard you, and they corrected their mistakes in the past two movies with this one. Because,
Yeah, and
oh
that's
my
the
god, every scene, the shield's out.
yeah, it's not even a case of while he's fighting, as we've already mentioned, he uses it for other purposes as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's his utility rather than just a weapon.
Except, this isn't really a spoiler, but I'm going to say minigun.
Yeah,
Anybody know what I'm going to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you fucking shoot his legs?
Same exact thing.
Everybody shoot the goddamn shield. Just
Yeah.
aim at his legs. You know what you can do? You can shoot the concrete in front of him and bounce it up. You know? There's a thing called ricochet. you could still shoot him. I'm like, these are the dumbest fucking minions I have ever seen ever, you know? And that's the kind of stuff that bothers me in movies like this, especially with Captain America, where he uses a shield to block, and it's a pretty fucking small shield. It just covers. He's got to tuck his head down to get his body in there, or his chest and head in.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is just fucking shoot out his legs, and you got him.
Yeah, even Winter Soldier, who's this super assassin sniper, is
Yeah.
still shooting right at the shield. It's like,
Yeah.
his feet are right there. Just shoot him in the foot.
Like, but I want to shoot his head.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
mean,
going for the honorable victory.
honestly, between the I think these would be my only like legitimate nitpicks or complaints about this movie. Number one, the I know like you can't show him shooting Captain America, but at least like have like an explanation to why they're not doing it, or to like maybe they try it and he stops it somehow. That, and then there's the when it comes to the fight scenes, like there's with the tanker, or not the tanker, but the cargo ship.
Yeah.
The camera is just way too close up on the action sometimes, and it's really it's jarring and hard to tell what exactly is happening. All you know is blue guy is Captain America, black guys, not black guys, but guys in black.
Yeah.
Guys are bad guys, and you're just like, they're just coming in from everywhere, and he's like, okay, well, which one is the one that entered from the right? Is this the guy that entered from the right? No, he's the guy that came from behind him. Okay, now who's this guy? Where'd he come from? And it just gets really fucking confusing when you shoot that close, because it's a fast fight scene. Because it's not slow. They're not dumbing this movie down. Like the punches come quick, the blocks come quick, everything comes quick.
It's pretty brutal as well. There's some quite visceral moments in it.
Yeah.
For a Marvel movie, at least. I mean,
fucking the Winter Soldier on the carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in spoilers.
Yeah. And there's again, I don't mind speaking about this because it was part of the advanced preview and the whole scene on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
The dude goes for the alarm and he gets a knife through the hand for his trouble.
Yep.
And they show that shit.
Well, he fucking kicks a guy right off the boat.
Yeah, I love those moments where he's just like, pump.
He doesn't stop that one guy. He's just sprinting down. He's like, on your left. Boom.
Remember? Yeah, he's running through the hall, or not through the hall, but on the side of the boat.
Yeah.
And he just takes his shield, bashes him off the boat.
He doesn't even break stride, man. He's like, boom.
But yeah, I mean, everybody put in a good performance for this movie. Besides Nick Fury, he can't act for shit because of Samuel Jackson. Fuck him. I can't give him credit for anything. Oh wait, I'll give him credit for one thing, but I have to give it some credit. I have to give him that credit in the spoiler part.
Who's that? Sorry, I missed that.
To give Samuel Jackson some acting credit.
Yeah, okay. We'll wait for it. I can give Samuel L. Jackson a lot of credit. I think he's a lot better than a lot of people give him.
No.
I like him. I do like him.
I'm just waiting for the shark to come out of the middle of the tank and eat him like he did, like in Pitch, or what's that? Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah. I like Samuel L. Jackson.
Overacting motherfucker.
Just to go back a little bit as well. Obviously, what we were talking about with Black Widow, in regards to her, the story really developing her as a character and leaving it very open at the end. Mm-hmm. Do you think Marvel will just at this point say, you know what, we're going to do a Black Widow movie anyway? Because you know how many times that DC have said, Wonder Woman can't work.
Wonder Woman could work, and they're just too afraid to do it.
Yeah, I think Marvel will do Black Widow just to.
Well, Chris, weren't you saying they were thinking they might do it?
There's talks to do it. If they're going to do it, it's not happening anytime soon because they've already confirmed what their movies for Phase 3 are going to be, and there's not a spot open for a Black Widow movie anymore. Mm-hmm. So if they're going to do it, it's probably not going to be until like 2018 or something like that, something crazy far in advance. So
she'll be too old for that role then.
I mean, she could
Black Widow in a wheelchair. Oh, but I get you.
How old do you think Scarlett Johansson is?
4 years time, dude. Jesus.
No.
She could definitely still be into the role, but it may be one of those things. I mean, we're reaching the point. Well, we're not reaching the point. We're getting aware of the point that we're going to reach the point where these characters are going to start having to have the actors get replaced.
Well, unless they stay very well looking. Well, they don't age bad like Hugh Jackman is for Wolverine.
Well, I mean,
because he's been doing Wolverine for fucking how?
The only thing they can do is go the comic book way. No one would accept Robert Downey Jr. being replaced like that.
They'd have
However,
he'd have to
if
pass
they
it down,
did it the
I think.
comic book way, and the Rhodey takes over as Iron Man for a while Tony has problems,
Fuck that. No.
and then they replace it back afterwards
No.
because they did the same thing with Captain America. In the comics, Bucky becomes Captain America for a while.
Yeah. But
So
they
they
only
could do-
changed it back because that people hated that.
Exactly, but there's a way to do it. There's a way to get around just switching the actor straight away.
I mean, look, Marvel has already said that they're not going to reboot.
Yeah.
So if when one of these guys, I mean, Captain America, as many people have heard, or Chris Evans is only signed in for 6 pictures. He's already just finished 3 of them. The
Yeah.
4th one's going to be Avengers 2, and you presume the next 2 are going to be Captain America.
But that doesn't
3 and
mean
Avengers 3.
he won't re-sign.
No, it may not. I mean, he won't be signed,
Unlike
but
Robert Downey
has-
Jr..
Marvel has plans in
He's-
place for their movies until 2028.
Yeah, but
Robert
unlike
Downey Jr. will be like 69 years
Yeah,
old.
but
at that
Robert
point.
Downey
He's
Jr.
not-
Evans
is
already said
done
he actually-
with Iron
said
Man
he's actually-
movies.
Yeah, he's actually said that he wants to retire from acting.
Yeah.
He's
after
gone back
his,
on
after
that.
his Marvel gig. As if
He's gone back on that.
I thought he wanted
But
to direct-
the-
I
the
want-
No,
fact
he's
of
not
the matter
doing
is
any.
that-
He's still going to do Avengers, but he's not doing Iron Man 3 is the last solo Iron Man movie we're going to get, as
Well,
far as I've heard.
Unless they recast Iron Man, and they may.
Well, I don't think they have to. I think they'll just have him around for the Avenger movies,
I think there's just
and it
there's
opens up a
going-
block for other Marvel characters.
It does, and I don't think we're going to see it in the extent of 2 Iron Man movies like we did during Phase 1. But there is the chance that 5-6 years down the line in Phase 5 or whatever, here's a new Iron Man movie, and
Yeah,
Robert
but-
Downey Jr. is not into it. We're going to.
I really think the way that'll happen is Robert Downey Jr. will pass down the role. It'll be he'll be in the movie, and he'll make the new Iron
give
Man.
up the role to a new character.
Yeah, he'll be like, I need to be, kind of like a Batman looking for a replacement. Where
Okay.
he finds somebody, trains him, teaches him how to do things, and then he hands him the suit. Because I would be pissed as fuck if Rhodey got it, Don Cheadle.
Ugh, well, he couldn't fucking carry a movie to save his life, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Because I fucking hate War Machine.
War Machine.
Yeah. He's a terrible fucking character.
Yeah,
Look at me, I'm just Iron Man with guns.
dude, just be glad they didn't go through the whole claustrophobia scene with arc with him. Imagine him doing that in the movies. Yeah, I want to be Iron Man. I don't like confined spaces.
But back to Captain America.
Yeah.
Other than my 2 complaints, I have a couple other complaints that I'll get into, spoilers, but they're just scene complaints. I really didn't have a big problem or a big issue with this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I give this movie a solid B+.
I'm up in the A's, man. I think literally this. I think this probably is the best film they've released.
Now,
It's tough.
from a-
It depends on your definition of best. That's
Yeah,
really where it
Avengers,
comes down
for
to.
example, is a more fun movie, but there's no character development in that movie. Not really.
There's a
This
little bit.
has a lot of depth to it. I think this film.
It's a much different film of the Marvel universe. That's the big
Yeah.
thing.
yeah,
This
they're
is a
flexing
movie
their
that
legs
is-
with this movie.
This is a movie that's much bigger than anything they've attempted before, and they succeed at it.
I think Iron Man gets a lot more praise than it. If Iron Man was released now, we'd be like, nah.
Iron Man
When
1.
it
yes.
first came out, because it was new, it was something special.
Well, you can say about
Yeah.
every fucking movie. This movie will be crap in comparison to all the other ones that we get later.
Because that's the natural progression of movies. You try and beat what you did last time. I honestly think this is one of probably the best movies in the Marvel lineup.
I got Iron Man 1 as my favorite, then Avengers. I'm not a big Thor fan. I like Thor as a character. I liked him more in Avengers than his for the other 2 movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the world that it's set in, like how
Yeah.
it's really comic-y and shit like that. I like more of a down-to-earth kind of a feel to it.
Okay, I will say this. There's one thing I haven't addressed with this movie, but I think it does run a little bit long.
2 hours, 18 minutes? Yeah.
It
It
runs
doesn't- it
long, but there's a lot to do. So
It's a weird film. I sat there and thought, huh. This it just doesn't feel like a long film. I got out, I'm like,
Yeah.
Jesus, really 2 hours plus?
I didn't
And then
feel
I
it.
think about it, and then it's like,
It is slow.
Yeah,
I actually do have to admit,
that scene was a little bit slow. Yeah, they could have
like
sped that
like
up.
the first Captain America, it does take a while to get back into the action. There's a lull period where things are kind of getting figured out, and you kind of have to deal with that. But
Well, yeah, it's all plot
it's
set
worth
up
it.
and shit like
yeah,
that.
I mean, it's necessary. It
Yeah.
couldn't exist without. They're not just going to shoehorn.
Not
one in.
unnecessary dribble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's just some really great moments in there. There are just some incredible. The elevator fight scene was so badass. Just
Spoiled by the trailer, though.
yeah, well, not all of it, but yeah. But it's still awesome. There's still some really great lines in there. I think I like the first Captain America better as a Captain America movie. Like you get to see a lot more of what makes Captain America who he is in that movie. But this movie is just so big. It has so much to it, and they succeed at what they're going for. That I give it like an A-. So I really enjoy it. It's not the best Marvel movie, or in whatever term you're looking for in best, but it's excellent. It pushes the bar of what these movies can be. This movie was more than just a comic book movie.
It's the next step in the ladder of Marvel movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it
I'm
really
giving this a solid A.
solid A.
Not an A plus, but it's a solid A.
Okay. But it really like the next Marvel movie that comes out has some big shoes to fill.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy's fucked.
I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm going to give it a shot because,
So am I.
like I said before, when every movie has its own feel, I'm going into Guardians of the Galaxy just expecting a sci-fi movie.
You know the
And just kind of
advantage
almost
got?
looking for Marvel's answer of Star Wars, even though
The advantage we got of this film's got is it's a new franchise. It's a new set of characters. So it's not a sequel to something else. This is the first time we've had new characters in what, 5 years?
Yeah, but we have Ant-Man coming next year, and then
Yeah.
Steven.
So this is the first time we've had a new character since I think Thor was it?
No, I thought Captain America was
Captain
the newest
America
one.
was the most recent new
Yeah.
character. I mean, if you're talking about solo movie, technically,
Yeah.
I guess like
Hawkeye, I suppose, technically, yeah. But
Hawkeye was in Thor for like a hot second. So.
Yeah.
I thought Thor was after Captain America.
No,
Captain America was after.
Captain America was the first Avenger. That was the title.
Oh, then it led into Avengers. Yeah, okay. So since the first Captain America film, we haven't really had any new solo movie, any new franchise movies. So I think Guardians has got a good chance. It doesn't get bogged down. It's being compared to the old ones because it is such a big departure. It's still Marvel, but it's going into the galactic universe rather than Earth. I think it's got a chance. I like the look of it. I'm really looking forward to it. What I am looking forward to coming out of this
I like Chris.
is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I don't know how
Holy
the fuck they're gonna do Agents.
shit. I can't wait. You know what I think? I think they
Hold
have
on, let's
the-
get into spoilers. Get into spoilers.
Oh, no, hold on. We gotta get Brennan. Brennan's barely spoken a word in this whole fucking review. Anything from you,
Yeah.
Brennan?
I would say overall, I give it a B plus A minus. My biggest complaint is that the Winter Soldier himself doesn't really play a huge part
Yes.
in the film called Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
I agree.
He's that way.
But that's really
as well.
I haven't read the comics, so I wouldn't know. But-
It's the Winter Soldier is sort of like a pawn for the things at large going on.
He's
But
an
I guess-
outside threat that the Cap really never gets to grips with. Is that ghost that Cap's always chasing?
Yeah, and we'll get more into it in spoilers, but yeah, that was really the only major complaint I had about it. Otherwise, yeah, it was a very enjoyable film. I still like the first one more, but you should definitely go and see this.
Okay. So if nobody wants anything spoiled for Captain America or Noah, I don't think we're gonna lose anybody for that one. Get the fuck out now, because we're gonna spoil shit. So let's do Captain America spoilers since we're already on Captain America. My thing for why I'll applaud Nick Fury, he does a great fucking death scene where he just lays there. Fantastic acting.
You're such a shit.
But he immediately takes that away when he says his first words when we find out he's not dead. Fuck you.
I like that. See, this is the
I
thing.
called it the moment I left the theater. I was just like,
Yeah.
Randy's really gonna hate that scene where it's revealed he's alive still.
See, this is the thing. Okay, look, everyone knows. Look,
It was
Samuel
too
L.
good to be
Jackson
true.
Samuel L. Jackson has reached the point now where he's Samuel L. Jackson playing Samuel L. Jackson in every movie. But he's got a charm to him. I love the whole watching him we're in spoilers now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
There's only Samuel L. Jackson that can sit there in dire, in fatal situations and have an argument with his car. I love the hell out of that scene where the car's like.
But it's working. AC unit is still operational.
And
Thanks.
he looks at the damn dash. He's like, "You son of a bitch!" It's like, what is it? Communications are offline. Weapons are offline. Is there anything in this bucket that is working? Air conditioning is operational. Fuck you.
There are a couple. Here's one thing though, and I didn't mention it before. There are a lot of in-jokes in this movie, a lot of Easter eggs. I wonder how many people noticed. Did you catch the reference? Because Nick Fury has faked his death at the end of this movie. He's dead. So they go to his quote-unquote grave, and the quote that's on it is the quote from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, the Path of the Righteous Man.
Oh, yeah.
Reference in there. There's a lot of small references. Doctor Strange gets referenced in this.
Where? I didn't recognize that one.
There's a moment where they're talking about what the threats to Hydra are, and he goes down a list and he mentions Bruce Banner, and then one of the names he mentions is Stephen Strange. So they reference.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Oh, I would have loved to hear that in the
There's
theater.
also the fans are latching onto, the little EMP devices that Widow has and jabs herself with to get from the.
Yeah. Well, she uses it on Winter Soldier to stop his arm.
Yeah, well, basically, she makes a line of, "Wow, those really sting." The entire internet went, "Wasp!" It's like, okay, maybe, but...
No.
I didn't catch that. That seems very faint for them to be attached to themselves.
That's the thing. A lot of people have been trying to,
Well, they have to have Wasp in because that's fucking Ant-Man's wife, so...
Yeah.
Well, the Ant-Man who's going to be in this is not the same Ant-Man that has the Wasp as his wife. It's Scott Lang, so it doesn't have to be Wasp.
Stupid. See, no, okay, the reason why
They're trying to avoid the fact that Ant-Man also happens to beat his wife.
Yeah.
So that's why they're trying to distance themselves from that
Hence
character.
why, the whole Ultron thing is not down to Ant-Man anymore either.
But I want to get back to the Nick Fury thing. The reason why I harp on Nick Fury so much is because they went the Samuel L. Jackson route with it. The ultimate Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Because that Nick Fury is more of a spy, while the original Nick Fury is more of a soldier.
Yeah.
And I like that version of him better than the espionage. I'm lying to everybody. I try to be dark and mysterious with all my doings, and it's just really fucking annoying because he's just an asshole in every movie.
Yeah, I'm the opposite to that. I prefer the spy because we've got enough soldiers in this film already.
It's not just this film; it's all of them.
In the Avengers, okay, it turns out that he's complicit with all these plans. Cap's pissed off at him that he knew all about the Hydra weapons being reused. But he's like, well, look, there's threats out there, and you can tell that Fury, at the base of it, is a good guy. He's a good person, but his morals are set aside for what needs to be done. He's one of those sort of guys. He's a James Bond. And I like the character. I do like the character more as a spy. We don't need another soldier in this film.
No, you're not getting.
Any of them.
He's a soldier,
Any of
but the
them.
thing is that he's a tactical master. He's something that we don't get from like Captain America, Iron Man, and shit like that. He's the intelligent soldier. He's the one that knows how to infantry. You can put him in the spiral still to like he knows how to get past enemy defenses, what to use against certain people, and things like that. I like to equate him to like the Punisher with brains. And I just don't like this whole. I don't like the espionage thing of Nick Fury to where he doesn't come off like. I know you can have assholes that you like, where you're like, yeah, he's a lovable asshole. This Nick Fury isn't. Where you're just like, why do people put up with you? I do not see why the Avengers deal with him, because he lies to him all the fucking time. He tells them to go do certain things that aren't certain, like the whole boat thing. He wants Natalia to go steal things while he saves the people, but he doesn't tell anybody. He doesn't tell each other that thing.
Yeah, but it turns out the whole thing was a switch anyway because he planned.
Yeah.
He actually planned the.
Well, the
entire...
thing about
it's
that
just
is that
fucking. Why do people put up with him? I just wouldn't be like, if I were Iron Man, I'd be like, yeah,
to be
fuck
fair,
yourself.
They sort of explore that in this, and that Captain America is basically like, I'm fucking tired of this shit. And if it weren't for the fact that in his last quote unquote last moments, he trusts Captain America with this precious
But
thing.
not trust him enough to tell him I'm not actually dying. So, fuck you again!
That's part of the thing. It's this character that exists in media of like the liar who is just trusted because he's your liar, essentially. You know, where you put up with his bullshit because he gets things done through his bullshit.
If I worked for him, I'd beat his fucking ass.
And you probably easily could, so don't worry.
Yeah,
about
well,
that. If you ever became Captain America, you could kick his ass.
I don't have to be. If I became Tony Stark without the fucking suit, I'd kick his ass.
You could be Falcon, you could kick his ass.
Sure. My pretty little wings that get ripped off.
So here's the one moment I really wanted to mention that really shows off what he could do. There's a moment we get where Captain America is kind of exploring his past again. He's going to the Smithsonian exhibit to see everything, and then you see he goes to visit Peggy Carter, the girl he
that was
had
really sad.
He had a moment with, you know, when they were a relationship in the past, and he's talking to her about, you know, how hard things are for him now, and she's trying to give encouragement, and all of a sudden she has like a coughing attack, and he like gets water for her, and then she just, oh, Steve, you're alive, and you realize you're like,
she has
Alzheimer's.
Yep.
She can't. You know, and you stop and think, how many times has Captain America relived that moment for him? That just must be so hard to go through, and it's not overstated. It's very subtle. No one has to go in and be like, Peggy Carter has Alzheimer's, Captain America. It must be tough to deal with. It's just played right there, and it's such a hard moment. And Chris Evans plays it so fucking well. It's a phenomenal scene. I didn't cry, but it is fucking hard hitting. That is a tough scene to watch. Because it's one of those moments where you're like, Captain America really does fucking feel alone in this world. And this movie changes that. You see that he really does trust Scarlet Widow or Black Widow after this, and that he has a friend now in Falcon. But at the start of this movie, you're like, well, he really doesn't have any.
He connects with Falcon because they're both former soldiers and shit like that, and they have the nice talks where they talk about why are you still in?
Yeah, barring the 70-year difference, they're basically a very similar sort of experiences.
And Rogers gives him the answer of, I don't know why he says, I don't know why he's still in.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And you're just wondering, at that point, because he never answers that question. We still don't know why he does what he does.
For America.
Yeah, for America.
For freedom.
Okay, let's get into the one conversation we were having off stream about why Hawkeye is in this movie. Now, here I think they could have worked him in for a little bit. Just for like a one-off scene and have him in this movie.
I think all they really needed was just a line to explain, because everyone does wonder. You're like, where is he? And they don't explain it. The only reference to Hawkeye in this entire movie is that Black Widow has an arrow on her necklace, and that's supposed to be the reference. That's because they almost aim this or suggest this notion at the start of it that there's going to be sexual tension between Captain America and Black Widow, and thankfully that doesn't go anywhere. They don't even really hammer it in that far. A little bit of teasing here and there, but then they make it pretty clear. No,
she kisses his cheek at the end, and they kiss each other on a escalator.
And I mean, this is the first time we've had a Marvel movie without a love interest story as like the back plot to it, and it worked really well.
Except. What I thought was completely out of character for Black Widow is she's trying to keep setting him up with somebody. Which, honestly,
I can think that's kind of clever for her because, look, at the end of the day, she's part of this whole, this SHIELD situation. He's the new guy. You can tell there's a few bits in it. It's very much like an older sister kind of situation because she plays with him. There's a scene in the car where they're talking about, she starts teasing him as like, is this the first girl you've kissed in 40 years or whatever it is, 70 years? And he's like, no. And she realizes she's a woman playing with a boy when it comes to women. And she's teasing him and
but that's still after she starts teasing about the girlfriend.
Winding him up. Yeah, but that's what I mean though. She's assumed a role that's like trying to help him out. Women.
It's just
women.
I know, but it's something that
maybe
it's something that the character hasn't shown before, so it feels out of place when they bring it up in this movie.
Well, that's the thing with Black Widow is she's been written so differently in every movie she's been in.
Yeah, I'm used to the.
She's entirely different than what she was in Iron Man 2, and she's entirely different than what she was like in Avengers. And
in Avengers and Iron Man 2, she's roughly still the same, though. She's in Iron Man 2, she's a fucking hard ass.
Yeah.
Who gets the job done. Huh?
She's on mission.
Yeah.
In Iron Man 2.
In Avengers.
So that's why she's a hard ass. In Avengers 2, she shows some humorous sides. When Coulson brings her in when she's interrogating the Russian dude.
Yeah, but she's still being she's still a fucking hard ass. Where they call and she's like she's like, I'm busy or something like that, and
Yeah.
I'm getting these guys to tell me everything she wants. I mean, it to me seems in character that she'd be saying these kind of things. But the minute she's trying to set up Steve Rogers like she's actually severely interested in his personal life or trying to tease him or what's the word I'm looking for, haze him.
I think
it just doesn't feel right.
I think it's more of a fact that, I mean, it's not really gone into it. I'm really deep, I'm digging deep. But I think it's going to be something to do with the fact that obviously she's an ex-KGB. She knows what it's like to be the outsider coming in. So I think there is that natural chemistry between them because of that. The new guy, the one with no ties and no family, no anything really, completely autonomous. And I think that's kind of why they do pair them up really well. Like I say, I'm probably reaching, but I think there is a lot of chemistry between these two characters.
But okay, I want to get back to Hawkeye here.
Okay.
My one scene that I think they could have worked Hawkeye in is remember when they all get captured?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they reveal that the person who's in the van is the other agent.
Maria Hill. Yeah.
Yeah, Maria Hill.
That could have easily been Hawkeye for that scene. Like they had him under deep cover, or not deep cover, but they had him in. They got him in there. Because he was, and you can write him off after that pretty easily.
No.
Yeah, you could.
No, if Hawkeye pops up at that point, he's in for the rest of the film.
Yeah, I'd kind of agree. Not in that they couldn't write him out, but it just would feel like such a slap to the fans. You're just like, wait, you're going to put Hawkeye in the movie, but he's not going to be there during this.
Then what the fuck was Thor 1? That was a slap to the face then, because it's basically the exact same thing.
But that was an
He's in
introduction
2 fucking scenes.
But that was an introduction to him. We know who he is based off the Avengers movies now.
Nah, I'm at the disagree.
Supposedly, everything is going to be explained with Avengers 2.
But that's bullshit. You can't.
If you see the
I actually
pre-production pictures that have come out, you can see that he's in them in a relatively large role. So presumably he's off on a big mission now.
I like seeing Agent Hill getting a little moment. Because, I mean, look, she's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. She's a high-ranking S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. She kicks ass.
Yeah, and she did in Avengers 2.
No, she didn't. Not really.
She fucking shot like 6 guys in Avengers 2.
Avengers 2?
Or Avengers 1.
Did she?
Yeah, when the fucking boat gets taken over. She fucking saved Nick Fury's life.
Yeah. But in this one, it's like, she shows... There's this one scene where she's basically coordinating the attacks, and they find out where she is on a computer, and she's looking at the cameras, sees the guys, infiltrating and breaking through the door to where she is, and she literally just scoots back on a roller chair, shoots them without looking, and comes back. And it's like, okay, when you think about it from the expanded version universe of S.H.I.E.L.D., you don't have to be, you don't have to have a code name to be a badass.
Yep.
She's more than likely an equal of, like, maybe not Black Widow combat-wise, probably is an equal of Hawkeye. Probably is an equal of all these other guys, all these other, S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
And that's what I really like what they did with Black Widow in this, because Avengers, she's so like
she can't do much in Avengers.
She's almost a joke. Like there's that scene where everyone's getting ready for the big battle and all doing their things. America's shield's going out, Iron Man's firing all his beams, Thor's hammer, Hulk's being big, and she like wraps her legs around a dude and like taser punches him. And you're just like, what a fucking weak ass character. In this movie though, she's a badass. She has all these cool gadgets.
I mean, that's where I equate to Falcon. Falcon was that in this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
where all he does is flap his wings and pull out his guns. Huzzah!
Yeah. Like I said, these are guys that have developed. They were never. That Falcon's technology was never designed to fight metahumans. The S.H.I.E.L.D. agents were never trained to fight metahumans until they all started appearing. That's why Fury put the Avengers together to deal with those bigger threats. They're not going to be able to deal with alien invasion and that sort of stuff on their own. That's not what they've been trained for, or their tech level is at.
You're explaining it in universe. I'm talking about how they execute it in the movie. In the movie Avengers, Captain America and Black Widow and Hawkeye to a lesser extent. He looks cool with all the arrow flipping and all that.
Yeah, except for some reason he keeps getting arrows when he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
If you count the arrows in that movie, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's how archers in most fantasy trend to work.
All it
But
needs, look, if this is Falcon's intro and they do keep using him, then all it's going to take is 10 minutes at Stark's lab, and he'll be able to upgrade his guns. Be fine. You'll be happy then.
I don't know. I just don't like superheroes that rely on guns because they just seem like even though Captain
Well, that's
America doesn't use
Iron Man.
guns. No,
Iron Man uses
Iron Man's not a
lasers
fucking
to kill
gun.
people.
Iron Man is a walking machine.
Projectile weaponry, it's the same goddamn thing.
Lasers that can rip people in half.
Any of this relate to Captain America anymore?
It doesn't matter. We're talking Marvel Universe now.
Can I know one other thing that's awesome?
The Winter
credit
Soldier.
scene. Well, the Winter Soldier is awesome. That's it. The end credit scene in this is, oh god, do I want Avengers 2 so bad now?
I found it cheesy, but okay.
Well, the two characters that we got revealed to, we kind of finally get to meet them is Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And many people who are familiar with the Marvel Universe know those are mutants, and how is this going to exist? They're in Days of Future Past, blah, blah, blah. They're explained in this version, they're not mutants. They're actually created via experiments using the Chitauri Scepter. And the two guys they have playing them, they have the guy from Kick-Ass playing Quicksilver, and they have Elizabeth Olsen, the youngest Olsen sister, playing Scarlet Witch, and they both looked so cool in just a small snippet we got of them. They look awesome. I'm so excited to see those two characters in action.
I didn't actually get to see much of them. I didn't think they only showed them for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a real good look at him, especially Quicksilver, because he's always moving through 99% of his 1 second scene. All I see is a big dude that's blurry.
He's very big. We know he got jacked at the end of Kick-Ass 2, and he was very good at Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2. So I'm confident
He's very good in
that.
Kick-Ass.
I have the
One.
confidence he'll be able to have the acting chops for it, and the special effects make it look good. There is a second after credit scene if you want to stay through the end of all the credits. And kind of like what it was in Thor 2, it's kind of just a small scene. You don't have to see it. It basically shows Winter Soldier, a.k.a. Bucky, at the Smithsonian exhibit as well, and him kind of reflecting on his past. Stan Sebastian, I think is his name. The guy who played the Winter Soldier, he's signed on a 9-picture deal with Marvel.
Jesus.
So it's very likely
He's going to show up in a lot of people's movies.
he's got to do that, and it's very possible that when Captain America, when Chris Evans' deal ends, that he will take the mantle, just as the comic book version of him did.
Captain America with a metal arm? Awesome.
That's pretty pimp.
I love the noise that arm makes.
I love the theme song he has, too. It's like this robotic, dysfunctional, just like chaotic thing, and it works so well, because anytime you see him, he's just fucking things up. He's just firing, I
Kicking
like
people into propellers.
Oh, that's such a bad. He just goes this air. They're like, everybody, come on! We're the only air support Captain America has. Winter Soldier comes in. He's just like fucking Spartan kicking dudes in that fucking jet plane engine.
Yeah, he just uppercuts a dude, flies in 20 feet back in the air, and he lands in the fucking Quinjet engine and destroys it. It's like, ah!
Jumps on the car, or jumps on the fucking jet, shoots a guy in the top of the head.
I love these moments where he's just so methodical with everything, and he's not like
Hold on.
maniacal and that he's firing grenades wonton, but he has he will completely put other citizens in danger. He clearly has absolutely no morals in that regard. He's just so fucking bad.
I got to bitch a bit about him, though.
Okay, you don't like his face.
Yeah, no, it's not about his face.
Okay.
Even though he does look like a 13-year-old emo boy when he doesn't have his mask on. There's, when they first really, really, really introduce him, where it's they deploy him on the bridge, and he is just noob tubing the fuck out of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Apparently, during that whole fucking scene, he has completely lost his ability to shoot people. he is just they introduce him, and he's like, I forgot my training.
Oh,
he's whiffing everything.
He's remembering that one semester he spent at Stormtroopers training school.
Yeah. He, the most badass fucking sniper shooter guy in the entire world, can't hit the broadside of a barn with a grenade launcher or with his trademarks Uzi and fucking
that little
sidearms.
scene where he gets rid of Sitwell, though.
Oh, that's fucking bad! Yeah. Just reaches into the car and just fucking hurls him out into an oncoming truck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, that was awesome.
If Sitwell's one of those characters, right? If you now you notice it, now you know who he is. If you go back and watch the original films all the way through, he's in Captain America 1. He's in Thor. He's in, I think, Iron Man 2. He's in Avengers. He's in them all. He's in Agents of Shield, and you realize just how, as this plot progresses, you realize just how integrated all these different guys are and how deep the whole plot thing goes.
And they've actually changed previous movies based off of this. The member of the Senate who goes, goes in close and says "Hail Hydra" and all that was actually the senator from Iron Man 2 who was requesting Tony to bring in his suit, because it adds a new layer to that. You're like, oh, so that guy really wanted to bring in a suit because secretly he was working for Hydra and just using the government to push that agenda.
Yeah. Exactly. You go back now and watch everything that happens in this film. If you go back and look at the old films, it's like, oh shit.
All this too is I sit here and I'm like, why the fuck don't we have a fucking Incredible Hulk movie? Why is there not any in the lineup at this point? Because you're just like, everyone fucking feels that guy's a threat. I want a goddamn Hulk movie.
You know why? Because every last one of them bombed.
The problem is that what can they do that hasn't been done already in those Hulk films?
Yeah.
Thing. I mean,
there are Hulk. I honestly think they're waiting.
Else's movie. I don't care. Just give me more Hulk.
I think they're waiting until after Avengers 3. I honestly think they're gonna go into World War Hulk.
It's not impossible. I mean, we're reaching the point now where they're starting to dive into actual comic book stories.
I want to see Planet Hulk.
That's Planet Hulk. Mm-hmm. Well, World War Hulk is led on from Planet Hulk, but yeah.
Where they launch them off into space.
Well, yeah. I mean, Avengers 3 could quite easily be. Well, it's going to be Thanos, but it could quite easily have a side arc where it's the Avengers versus Hulk.
Well, in Avengers 2, Avengers 2, Hulk is a little bit of a villain because they've already shown the Hulkbuster armor for Avengers 2.
Yeah.
But that gets into a lot of theory crafting because other people are considering that Ultron is built by Tony Stark, and what's happened is Ultron takes control of Tony Stark's suits.
Well, the theory that I've got, as I think I mentioned in pre-show, the theory I've got coming out of this film is that this...
How is this Captain America?
Captain America.
We really have reached...
The theory coming out of Captain America is, look, the whole thing behind it is that Hydra have implanted... They've basically got 3 giant helicarriers that are designed with all these weapons.
But are all blown up now.
And they're all blown up now. And there's this algorithm that they realized was written by Hydra. And what it does, it basically profiles everyone, everywhere. And works out whether or not they're going to be
Minority
a threat to
Report
Hydra in the future. It's kind of Minority Report.
No, it's not kind of. It is Minority Report.
It's kind of. But basically, they do this thing where they go through a list of people. That's where you get the Stephen Strange reference. You get all these different places mentioned, and and it's really insidious because one of the guys that's it goes down a list, and one is just this dude in the suburbs mowing his lawn with his kid watching. And it's like, yeah, he could be a threat in the future, and it's like, oh shit, Hydra's gonna just annihilate anyone that even comes near them, and. If you've been watching Agents of Shield, there's also this plot line going about the what's it called, the clairvoyant, who basically works things. He knows what people are going to do, and it turns out that he knows what people are going to do based on their background. So we're thinking that's the same thing. Going forward, that sounds a hell of a lot like Ultron as well. Ultron was known for eliminating threats before they happened. So this algorithm, this AI, develops into Ultron and takes over a Stark suit isn't beyond. Beyond the realms of reality. And again, story-wise, I mean, again, maybe I'm reaching, but the way I see it happening,
usually are,
if I can spoil Ultron, Tony Stark tries to build a suit out of adamantium. Okay? The AI takes it over. No one can stop it, even Hulk. The Vision is in this film. The Vision is able to phase through things.
You actually brought up something I wanted to bring up too with the Vision.
But that's how I think that's going to go.
Do we still believe that the guy who's playing?
No, they've completely confirmed otherwise. He's basically been revived through not dark, but very insidious technology.
Damn it,
Coulson. Yeah.
I wanted him to be the Vision.
Yeah, Coulson is they're tying Coulson into the galactic into it. The technology and the drugs,
Is
the
Kree.
drugs is Kree technology, so they're bringing Miss Marvel and all that sort of thing in. We think.
Oh, cool, Miss
God,
Marvel.
that'd be cool.
Sky, the hacker Sky.
Yeah.
As it's revealed, she's revealed to be an N8 or whatever it's called, which is basically an object of unknown origin, an alien object. So we're thinking she's some sort of alien, and the fact that she's now been injected with Kree super blood will basically turn her into Miss Marvel.
That would be... that'd be fucking pimp as shit.
Yeah.
Holy
How are they
shit.
gonna explain the name?
Fucking easy. You're a fucking Marvel. You're like a Miss Marvel. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a stretch.
I'm really looking forward to Agents of Shield over the next few weeks. They're
Now you're
building
gonna
out-
make me, I gotta watch that fucking show now to catch up on all this.
Yeah, there's about 6 episodes left of the season 1, and I think they are building something big. You could even see a few of the Movieverse guys end up popping up as extras. I can quite imagine Samuel L. Jackson popping back up in the next few weeks. Now they've gone rogue.
I can see him going in there, but I don't know about like getting like Robert Downey Jr. or something like that. I don't even think there's
They might
not
get
anything
Evans in.
they
I think they
pay
might
him.
get Chris Evans in there, maybe. It would definitely be the guys out of this film. It wouldn't be any of the big guys, I don't think. It would be the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
I do like
Yeah,
how
'cause-
they showed when they were targeting all the places and they showed Stark Tower. I'm glad he rebuilt it.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Wakanda got another reference as well. They are going to eventually work towards a Black Panther movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll be interesting.
And look, I'll be excited because I'll be like, finally, a black superhero.
Hey, we got Falcon. Shut up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and for those wondering why we haven't mentioned it in the spoilers yet, basically the reason we're so I'm excited for Agents of Shield is because Shield is gone after this film.
Yeah,
the
Shield
gets
has been
this-
100% dismantled.
It turns out that Hydra have invaded after Captain America 1. Hydra got themselves integrated into Shield so much that the only way to get rid of them is basically to disband Shield completely, including every secret that Shield's ever had.
Yep, and they do that by Black Widow posting it all on the internet.
Yeah.
I love how she's even like, oh shit, it's trending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was an old couple behind me that goes, "What's trending?" Like, it's Twitter.
You twat.
Yeah, and that whole plot also led to one of my favorite moments of this film, which was that
Oh, hey, you're here.
normal people. Yes, I'm still here. Is that it gets normal people involved in this huge epic conflict. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as you find out Hydra has been integrated, it basically becomes a war between the people who are still loyal to S.H.I.E.L.D. and those who are loyal to Hydra. And like, there's this huge conflict of there's this random tech guy
Oh, launch
has a
it
gun
now.
to his head.
Yep.
Yeah, has a gun to his head, and this Hydra agent is telling him, launch the helicarriers, and he's just like, I can't do that. And then there's just this giant standoff where everyone in the room has a gun pointed at someone else.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just felt that was awesome.
Apparently, all the technicians have guns.
They're doing such a good job of integrating. I mean, I don't want to bang on about it. Just to interest Chris in it that little bit more. Obviously, the episode of Shield before Captain America was released for you guys actually had Agent Sitwell on there, and he was giving his orders to go to the Liberian Star, the ship or whatever it was, literally leading into it. And a lot of the other cast members were saying, "Oh, well, you need to go work at this place, or you've been reassigned here."
Did they have a guy from Community in it?
No.
Oh.
And you start thinking, so are they Hydra? Have they been Hydra all along? It's fucking weird. It is really, really good.
Well, I think
the amount of integration they're doing with this.
what Rogers says on the PA when he's announcing, he says, "High command of Shield are Hydra, and the first response task force are Hydra." They never say any of the technicians are Hydra. Whether we see any of technicians are being Hydra or not, I don't remember seeing any. I just remember seeing the task force and some of the higher ups being Hydra.
Yeah.
So we don't know if any of those, because in that one scene, going to that scene, all the guys at the computers looked confused as fuck to what was going on, and then scared to what was happening when the guns came out. So I don't think the technicians were bad guys in any of the fields. I just think it was just the higher ups.
It was the inner circle. Yeah, they kept themselves fairly.
And I'm so glad they got away with the guy.
I think they organized it so that every tech that was Hydra was working on the helicarriers.
Yeah, they were on ship. I am so glad they got rid of the shadowy guys in the shadow boxes.
Yeah, they actually brought the
I
the
fucking
council into the
hated
light.
those guys
I love the old chick just kicking ass. The old British lady. Yeah, I'm just gonna whip your butt. Oh, okay, it turns out to be Black Widow, but Jesus.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Did you fall asleep through halfway through that scene?
Yeah, Gav's like, I fell asleep at the end, but that old lady, is she a Avenger?
I just love that this old British actress just like, I fucking have you. I'm a fucking ninja.
But we have actually touched on a lot of the Winter Soldier's Bucky.
Yep.
Spoiler.
Armin Zola's back.
No, not anymore. He's gone.
Kinda.
He's back. Gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, as an AI, I'm pretty sure he's probably been, absolutely destroyed. It's not like there's any sort of global network that could transfer his.
Well, he wasn't connected to the internet. Remember?
Well, he contacted somebody.
No, I thought
So
that was
the missile came in.
No, that was
That's something that was activated within the Central itself that let them know that that base had been activated, and they know that no one else on their team is there, so they just need to nuke it.
Yeah, but
I think Zola's still out there.
No, I don't think so.
Probably could be. He could be, but I don't think.
I
so.
hope he's not, because I found that part of the plot just completely stupid.
I loved it.
The
You know what I think that
the
is,
Swedish
personally?
the Swedish doctor from Captain America 1 has
You know where I can see
uploaded
him
himself
going
to
for
the
that?
internet or to a computer.
I can see them developing him into MODOK.
Well, he's already. I mean, Aram Zola is a character, like his own unique villain.
I know, but I think they could fuse him sort of situation. I mean, look what they do with Ultron. They could turn him into MODOK, bring in
Now,
the leader.
see, you're
who knows
reaching.
that was out.
Gav's like everything. He's like, oh, did you see that one guy on the street? He had that red hat.
He had a mustache that reminded me of another villain from the series.
I think
No,
he's gonna
look. He's an AI, but he
Yeah.
values his intelligence.
You're not gonna-
He reeks of MODOK, okay? Then, you've got the leader who was introduced kind of in the Hulk film. You could quite easily... You
No.
wanted a Hulk
No,
movie,
you
you could quite easily get it from there.
No, you can't. You're insane.
Maybe, but,
You're an insane bastard, man.
I can see plots where no others do.
All right.
Or exist.
Anything else
They don't
anyone needs to say?
There's a lot of shit in this film. We can't spoil it. This is one of those films we cannot spoil it all.
I like Scarlett Johansson's ass. She
Very
looks
good.
amazing in leather.
There is that one scene where she turns around, face onto the camera, she's like, what do you want me to be? Me and my friend would just pulled out a fucking notepad and started writing a list.
Can you replace my wife? No.
Just hear a crack down the microphone.
Nope. Nope. I said that quietly, and I think she's downstairs. And
Yeah,
I know
then
she's
there's
not
also-
listening, because she never listens to my casts.
Okay.
And then there's the scene at the very end where she's in the helicopter and you basically just get full on side boob.
Yeah.
Side boob.
Well, there's that one scene, like I was telling Chris. Chris did not notice her ass a lot in this movie.
I didn't. I was focused on the plot, I guess.
No, because whenever Scarlett Johansson's on, my attention goes straight to her to hopefully see her ass. And there's one scene where like Steve Evans' character sitting down, and she's kind of walking back and forth, and it's like table level. So every time she walks across the screen, it's her ass, and I'm just like, yay, aw, yay, aw. And then she stops and looks at him just off camera, so I see her hip, and I'm like, no, pan a little to the right.
That's the other line that I remembered. That's the other line. They drag it out the bit with Falcon versus who basically is going to become Crossbones. He's going to get another existing character, the tac squad leader.
Yeah.
And they're having that fight, and he gets obviously caught, and he's like, 41st floor, dives out. They're like 20 floors below me. I said the 41st floor.
Yeah,
They don't put the signs on the outside of the building, dumbass.
That's the only Nick Fury line I laughed at. But yeah, I like how they had to tilt the rotors out of the way so he didn't blender himself.
Yeah, there you go.
Did anybody like the fight scene that Black Widow had with Winter Soldier?
Yeah, I liked it.
She held her own pretty well with him.
This is the thing. You
Yeah.
see, I mean,
She outsmarted him, too.
this shows her development. She's learning how to fight metahumans. Because obviously everyone's stronger than her, so she's using tactics, she's using a brain and using leverage to
really
beat
like that
a
fucking
much
fight scene.
much stronger opponent.
I really do think that the trailer does spoil some good things of this movie. Like, I really wish the Winter Soldier catching his shield was not in that trailer. Because
That
if
is a
I
pretty
saw
fucking
that
bad
live, when I watched that movie and he did that, I would have been like, oh shit. Because you're not supposed to do that. Nobody's supposed to catch his shield.
I wouldn't have minded that bit if they didn't also in the trailer show the bit where he threw it back
Yeah.
in the extended trailer.
It's why I tried to avoid as much of the trailers as I could. Because actually, I didn't even know until I saw a trailer. I think I was watching like a fucking show on ABC or something like that, and they noted Captain America has gone rogue against S.H.I.E.L.D. That's a pretty big spoiler as to what the plot's essentially going to be.
Yeah.
If you go in without the spoilers, it really is kind of a fresh movie.
I mean, you kind of knew that Redford's character was the bad guy. Just from watching the trailers.
Chris told me, he's like, oh, and Robert Redford's in this movie. I go, so he's the bad guy. And but
was
Chris
like,
didn't, you didn't say anything.
Spy movie. Okay.
You didn't say anything. I'm just like, okay, so he's the bad guy. I figured he'd be the bad guy. It's fucking Robert fucking Redford. He has to be the bad guy.
Well, when one of the first lines he says is, well, you have to tear down the old world in order to build a new one.
Yeah.
You kind of know he's a villain.
But I really do start believing like trailers are the bane of movies. Like I got the Godzilla trailer again, and I'm just like I am pissed that they're showing Godzilla. I really like where they outline them when they shot up the flares and stuff like that. But at the very end of the trailer, you actually see him roar at the camera when the blast doors are closing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no.
No, that's the thing. That's all I need to see of that trailer. I don't want to see any more of that film. I want to wait till it comes out, and I'll go see it. That's all I need.
Yeah, I like the one part where they're like, in 1945 we awakened something and then tried to kill it. I'm like, that's a good line. That's good for the trailer. And then stop. Stop talking about the movie. Show his back. Show the nuke going off. Show him silhouetted against the red light from the flares. Trailer with really epic wham music. And it's the same thing. Like honestly, I'm watching the Transformers trailers, and you know what? Honestly, I know they're gonna fuck up Grimlock, and I know they are, but I am actually looking a little bit forward to this movie. Mainly because they showing more Transformers than they are the people in the trailer.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's like the Turtles trailer that came out.
I haven't seen that one. Oh yeah, I have.
I just want them to have Transformers and Turtles in the films. I don't want to be.
So you want
to a
Turtles in your
Transformers
Transformers film?
No, I don't want to turn it to a Transformers film and see more about these fucking humans. I don't care about the humans.
Yeah.
I came here to see giant robots. Stop spending your budget hiring Shia LaBeouf and all these shits and actually spend it on CGI.
Yeah, I would be looking forward to the Transformers movie, if not for the fact that in the trailers, they're like, oh no, we don't need you anymore. We're fine now. Megatron's dead. It's like, that's been the plot of the past two movies, and it's stupid. Why are you sending the...
If they change it to say that because the humans have learned how to defend themselves against Cybertronians. Because there's the bit, isn't there, where Wahlberg finds the busted up truck in the junkyard, and he's like, "I think I found a Transformer."
That is the dumbest line of that trailer.
Yeah, because obviously the world knows what Transformers are now, so
And
it's just, why are you sending away the giant robot with advanced technology who is willing to help you fight against threats you can't handle?
Mm.
Yeah, and especially when the battle cruisers come in. If I were the Transformers, I'd be like, okay, we'll sit this one out. We'll see how you guys do. Pull up a recliner, have a drink, and watch the humans try and fight. I'm like, this is a good. And while I'm sitting, I'll be optimistic. Like, this is adorable. These humans don't know what the fuck to do. Look at them; they're all being squished like ants. We should help.
These are films we can look forward to.
But the reason why I fucking hate the Transformers movies is because they killed off my favorite character already. I love Ironhide.
Yeah, I like that.
Ironhide's my bro.
The thing that's pissing me off about this is that you can.
Oh, and they also killed off Jetfire, also my bro.
How hard is it to get just make the fans happy, and you will sell this movie by the bucket load. It's like, yeah, you've got Dinobots, but only Grimlock's the Dinobot in there. All the rest, yeah, we've changed them.
But the scary part about Grimlock is he doesn't have a line in the movie, in the trailer, so we don't know if he talks. But we know Transformers. If people watch Transformers, we know Grimlock's. He has a certain way of talking where he speaks very caveman like, but but he's highly intelligent. He just can't word it right.
He can't enunciate.
I don't think we're gonna get that. I think we're just gonna get rawr, and that's it. We're not gonna get Grimlock actually saying anything. I think he's just gonna roar. He's not gonna talk.
I think hopefully they're giving us some sort of, they're holding something back.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Plus, really, that one scene that pisses me off where Optimus Prime is riding Grimlock.
Well, that's the thing. That's the marketing technique of this film. They're actually marketing the toys as a 2-pack. You can get Optimus Prime and Grimlock. You get Bumblebee and whatever they've renamed Swoop. Strafe, I think it is. He's like a 2-headed dragon now. Why couldn't you just do Swoop?
Oh, is Slag in this still?
No.
Slag. That's the.
Well, the
Triceratops.
The Triceratops is in it. They've gone with the name Slug, I think.
Oh, so they changed it. Okay.
Yeah, they
Slug
did,
was
the British thing about Slag.
Slag. I think that Slag was the original Triceratops. Slug is the Brontosaurus.
No, Sludge.
Sludge is the Brontosaurus.
Sludge was the Brontosaurus.
Yeah.
Slag, Swoop, Snarl, and Sludge, and Grimlock.
Yeah, and they switched the names for this.
They switched Slag to Slug because it's a slur in some countries.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it's like basically having a dinosaur called a transformer called Slut.
Well, with how they're treating these movies, it wouldn't be out of place.
Well,
Where are we gonna get? Are we gonna get some more racially insensitive Transformers in this one?
I hope not. When is it out anyway? I've forgotten.
End of the year.
Just right towards the end. Oh,
Yeah,
crap. Okay.
towards the end of the year.
Well.
By the way, Gav, we will not be doing Exposition Dump the week of May 9th. So you guys do not have to see Chef and Neighbors.
Yay!
Because I will be.
I don't think I get either of those movies anyway.
I'll be moving to Arizona.
Well, the 2 to 3 weeks before that, I won't be there anyway because I'll be on holiday in the Mediterranean. So.
Roger. So you're gonna miss Spider-Man.
No, I get in just before Spider-Man.
Oh.
Sorry, Spider-Man is the last film I see before I go.
Oh, okay. So that's May 2nd for us, and we'll be airing that on May 4th.
Oh.
So you might not be here for that then.
Hang on a sec. I think I get back on May the 6th, yeah. I think it's out a lot earlier in the UK.
Yeah, but we won't be doing the show until the 4th. Though.
No, I think Spider-Man's out like the 20... Hang on. The 21st.
Of April?
Yeah. It's like 2 weeks early for me for some reason.
Well, didn't you get Captain America first, too?
Yeah, well, it came
Doesn't
out
make
like
any
last
fucking
week.
sense. It's Captain America, and you guys get it first.
Oh.
I like somebody to explain that to me, why that is.
I don't know, for some reason, we've been getting a lot of movies early this time. The difference is, when you guys get a movie early, you get it 3 fucking months early, not a week.
But yeah, it's well, we could spoil Noah, but there's not really. Is there anything you want to spoil about Noah, Brennan?
No, basically the things I wanted to bring up were that there's a scene towards partway through the first half of the film where Russell Crowe and Emma Watson have a talk, basically about the fact that Emma Watson's character is infertile, and that's one of the scenes that I felt worked really well. Not so much towards the end of it, because Russell Crowe isn't that great of an actor.
No.
But in the beginning of that film, in the beginning of that scene, I felt it really worked, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't the over the top dramatic acting. It was very subtle. It felt like a dad talking to his daughter,
who he wants to fuck his son.
Well,
One thing
he didn't, but.
I know we haven't, obviously, we've kind of focused on Captain America in this, but one thing I do need you guys to explain to me, what the fuck are the Rock Lords doing in this movie?
Oh, they're fallen angels.
Yes, basically, angels, yeah, fallen angels that came down to Earth to help Adam and Eve, apparently. And so when they hit the Earth, in a very cool scene that I liked a lot.
Well, they didn't hit. They were angels that helped Adam and Eve. God punished them by sending them to Earth.
No, they say in the film that they came down to Earth to help Adam and
No,
Eve.
they were
That's
punished.
why.
They were punished.
And-
I
and no,
strictly
their
remember
punishment-
this.
Yeah, and I just think that the punishment was being encased in rock and not being able to escape and return back to heaven.
Because the only reason they come to Earth as angels, and they help Adam and Eve there. The only way they become rock monsters is when God casts them out of heaven. They slam into the earth, and that's where they become rock monsters. That's the first.
Yeah, they're
fucking
basically
10 minutes of the
dragging
movie.
themselves out of molten rock, which then hardens, and then
Yeah.
they break out, and that's their rock form.
Yeah.
And I really loved that scene because it looked absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I like when they die too at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Beams
yeah,
of light
and
and
then,
the angels shoot out of them.
yeah, and like the very last one basically sacrifices himself.
Yep, to blow himself up.
Hmm.
But the one scene that I think we can really spoil here is that Russell Crowe's character goes crazy on the boat. We find out that Emma Watson's character can get pregnant and is pregnant with twins, twin daughters. And Russell Crowe wants to kill off man because he believes he's commanded by God to kill off man because man is basically sinning too much. That they all have sin within them. Like
Which we never
wants
actually see.
Well, we do see that the one son really wants to bone chicks.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, we never. Like, there's this big thing of, no, all of humanity is corrupt, they've destroyed the world, but we never actually really see that.
Well, yeah, we do. We see that it's just the whole world is a barren wasteland full of skulls and polluted waters. We see that other than these four characters, the rest of humanity is evil.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, other than that one scene in which I was not filmed very well, because it's very chaotic and it's hard to tell what's going on.
Which scene?
Like, at first, when the scene first started, the implication is that I got was basically they're cannibals.
Oh no,
But
no,
then-
no. They're trading food
later on.
to rape
Yeah,
women.
they're basically that's what you find out later on. But
Food
when you
for
first
sex.
see that, it's very implied that they're cannibals.
I
And if
didn't,
they
I didn't
actually
get that.
gone-
I got rape out of that.
I don't know.
Because
yeah,
why
maybe
would
it was
they?
just-
Why would they need food then if they're just gonna eat them?
Well,
That
no,
doesn't make any sense.
I got when they're dragging the girl and they basically trade her for a lamb. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it then, but I'm talking about in the very beginning of the scene where they're cutting up the meat, and you hear the screams and everything.
No, I didn't.
The
Get that.
implication I got from that was they're cannibals.
No, I didn't get that there.
And yeah, that gets kind of retconned later on. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about, where we never really get evidence of why humanity is so far beyond saving.
Well, because we eat meat. That's why.
Yeah, which is really stupid.
They're like they're just showing like apparently we just rip things apart instead of apparently hunting is a sin because the very beginning of the movie opens up not the very beginning but a few minutes into the movie opens up with three hunters finding an animal. They shot it and it runs off and Russell Crowe finds it and pretty much lets it die in front of him.
Which leads to one of my major complaints of the film, which is that for most of the film, the big character arc is the fact that Noah is pretty much a good guy, and yet he's been forced to do this horrible task, which is basically wipe out all of humanity. And it's brought up towards the end of the film in a scene between him and his wife, where she says, "You're not a bad person. You're not a killer. This is destroying you." And it's like, oh, that's a very compelling story. If not for the fact that at the very beginning of the film, we saw him just completely murder 3 guys in cold blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really hates killing.
Yeah, because the only reason why he kills those 3 guys, the only reason why those guys engage him is because he stops them from taking their kill.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, that's the only food we've seen in like what, a week they said, or like 3 days.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And Russell Crowe's like, well, that's not it's mine now. I get to bury it and light it on fire.
Yeah, and
then they attack him, and then
so-
Russell Crowe just beats the fuck out of him, stabs him, and slits their throats and kills them.
and shows no qualm about doing so.
No. But Russell Crowe kills a lot of people in this movie. Noah kills a lot of people in this movie. Like, they're trying to storm the boat, and Noah's on there. He's just, like, fucking slashing people up like motherfuckers.
Well, yeah, and then there's also the really cool scene where after the flood has come, and you see the ark floating on the water and storms raging around, and then there's like this outcropping. And when you first see it, it just looks like a pile of bodies of people climbing on top of one another, trying to escape this flood. Then a wave hits it, and just all of them are almost gone. It was really good.
Yeah,
scene
and you hear the screams of people outside of the ark when they're inside of it, which is actually kind of interesting. But
the rest of the family's like, we can let our rope, we can save some of them. No, it's just like, no, we can't. We have to let humanity die.
Yep. Well, Chris was talking about this in pre-call about how how do they explain some animals not making it into the world? Well, we actually get some kind of an explanation if you want to take it that way. The king, what's his name?
His last name's Cain. I don't remember his first name.
Basically, the bloodline of Cain, king guy, makes it onto the ark and starts eating the animals, and that's why we don't have dinosaurs. And
that was actually, and I actually liked some of the speeches that he had because they actually really made a lot of sense, and they're somewhat compelling.
Oh, the heathen speak.
Yeah, where he's basically like,
if God is so good, why is there all this evil and stuff like that, kind of a thing.
Sort of like, or even at the beginning of the film when we were first introduced to him, and he's like, no, look, God cast us out of paradise, so we're gonna do whatever it takes to survive. He's already banished us, so how much worse can we do?
Well, apparently flood you.
Well, yeah, he's basically just saying, no, screw this, F you God. I'm going to do whatever it takes to survive, even if that means killing, murdering, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's another thing. Remember the scene where they're all the rock monsters are there and they're attacking the boat?
Mm-hmm.
Just how many fucking rock monsters are there? Because they seem to keep multiplying. Most of the time, you see about 6. No more than 6. Especially with the scene where they pan away and they show the rock monsters all fighting the humans. You count about 6. But yet, as the movie goes on, about 30 die.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know where the fuck these other guys came from. Like, they just we're just not going to show up to help build the boat, but we'll help defend it. And then they show the same ones dying over and over again, too.
Yeah,
you'll see the same beam of light coming out from the same direction that another guy died at. I'm just like, well, lazy ass fucking animators.
Well, yeah, and then there's also this really weird crystal, apparently, that can basically acts as fire for these people.
The angel gave him fire, right? Angels gave humanity fire?
No, that you're thinking of Prometheus and Greek
who gave
tradition. I don't think it's ever mentioned in the Bible. I don't think there ever is a story about where fire comes from.
Okay.
We were smart enough to make it on our own.
Because it looked like that's what those crystals were used for. Because that's all they use them for. Is to start fires.
And there's these magical crystals, which leads credence to my theory that this is just another movie that they didn't want to finish, so they just jammed it together with the story of Noah.
It feels like it up into the boat, the attack on the boat. It feels like it's a different movie. I mean, the scene where Grandpa Noah destroys all the people with his fucking flame sword of doom.
Yeah,
I want to see that movie.
Yeah, that's the same thing I thought. It's like, wait, no, go back. You have to explain this. I don't remember a lot from the Bible, but I do remember that there wasn't a flaming sword that could just obliterate entire armies.
And I want to know, how does Old Man Smithers have these powers?
Yeah, how can he heal infertility which has been affecting her for ages. Well, how do they even know that she's infertile in the first place?
The mother told her. Told them.
Well, I know they see the wound, but the thing is, in those times, they don't know how it actually
They
works.
have, in those times, apparently, they have leaves that tell you if you're pregnant or not. So I'm pretty sure they can diagnose a wound that says this person's infertile. Because they have magic.
Well, yeah.
They have magic rocks, they have magic swords, they have magic leaves, and magic diagnosing abilities.
Yeah, and
Magic.
one other scene that I wanted to mention that I thought was very good is the scene where Russell Crowe finds out that Emma Watson is pregnant. And
he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to act though. He just has to. He just needs to, scrunch his brow a little bit.
Well, I thought it was very touching because you could see the conflicted look on his face. Like, he doesn't want to do this, and he even goes outside and he's telling God, "Please don't make me do this. Don't make me murder my own grandchildren."
And right there, he goes crazy.
Yeah,
that's the
because he doesn't
beginning of the insane Russell Crowe.
Because he doesn't get an answer, and I really love that scene because, well, it was a little cheesy at the end where he fell down on his knees and was basically doing the standard "I'm yelling at God" pose.
Well, I was waiting for him to raise his hands up in the air with flares, and it would have looked just like the scene from The Rock, and then jets would have flown over.
Yeah, basically.
And not bombed the island. God, I love that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like I said before we started the spoilers, the scenes where they're more subtle and not going towards the over the top dramatic acting, I felt worked a lot more. Like you mentioned the scene between Russell Crowe and his wife.
That's fucking abysmal.
It is because like she's basically pleading with him not to kill their grandchildren. But the way she's doing it, she's basically saying, "Punish me, Noah. Punish me."
Mm-hmm. Spank me, Noah. Spank me.
It is oddly sexual in a scenario where it shouldn't be at all. It's just, oh my gosh.
Have you guys seen, like, in movies or TV shows where they can't get a person to cry on command, so they put like, water running, like, water drops down their face so it looks like they were crying? But you don't see streaming tears coming out? They just wet their face to make it look like they're crying. She never shed a tear in that scene. It's just she has wet face, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not the best scene.
At least Emma Watson can cry on command, but when she cries on command, she opens her mouth really wide, and you can see her fillings.
I didn't notice that, but
and watch it again, you'll see it. I'm like,
know that I
apparently
want
they have
to.
dental work back then. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to spoil for this, unless Gav and Chris, you have any questions for us about this movie?
No.
No, not really.